Go to interview. Sit down. The first question they ask, what other places have you applied for? And I'm like, why? Why would I tell you what places I applied for? Then you will know there's open positions. And you'll go after them yourself. They're like, oh, no, 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 no. We just don't want to double submit. We don't want to double submit. And I'm like, do you think I just fell off the truck? I go, seriously? I go, why don't you tell me what companies you represent? And I can see if I've already been presented to those companies. And they're like, no, 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 that's not how it works. I'm like, pardon me, no, that's not how it works. How do I know that you're not doing your due diligence trying to find business and just work off the things that I have? Sales 101, 102, 103, 104, 105. Common sense, right? Oh, we don't work that way at this company. It's a big company. And I'm like, so if I don't tell you exactly where I interviewed for and the positions I interviewed with and for the departments I interviewed with, you're not going to tell me what positions you guys are seeking and the departments you're seeking and the overall companies. They're like, yeah, that's always how we had to do business. I'm like, all right, put yourself in my shoes. You just walked in. You're basically asking me where I'm looking for work. Does that seem a little peculiar to you? A little off? We didn't even, get in a happy, I have this, you have that, I have this, you have that kind of thing. And they're like, oh, we'll get there. We'll get there. We'll get there. We'll get there. We just want to know what jobs you applied for and what companies. I'm like, we seem to be going in circles. I'm not going to tell you where I applied because that's confidential to me. And those positions were open that I found. They're confidential to me as well. I'm not going to say you guys don't do leads and stuff like that, but it seems like to me your lead base, if that's what you're counting on, is going to be few and far between, and you don't know if it's going to be reliable. Oh, you're saying we don't know how to do our job. I never said you don't know how to do your job. I just said if one of your sources of actual business operation or modus operandi or whatever you want to call it is asking for candidates where they're interviewing for as your first question and then writing those businesses down and then following up, yeah, I can call that a breach of trust. Absolutely. Because you're basically going where I'm applied for and you know where there's a spot open. I'm like, it's no different from, somebody grabbing someone else's book and calling their book if they have a sales book or they have a lead book or they have a commission book or whatever. You want what I want. Like, oh, we always do this. We always want to know the managers and we want to know the places and we want to know the departments. And I'm like, not with this kid, you don't. Not with this. I'm like, I'm out. You're walking away from the interview? The interview didn't start. I'm like, the interview started and it ended. It started because you told me your modus operandi was getting leads from people that are walking in the door. And you're not going to build my trust that way. You have to build something for me to make it appetizing that I go with you. I'm not just coming here and spilling all my secrets to you. I didn't bust my ass and work on, networking so I could just give it to you. What really burns me, what really, truly burns me, you have no what's in it for me, what's in it for you. You have no, when friends influence people kind of thing going on at all nowadays. Oh, so you don't need a job. Do you know anybody who does? Why would any person give another stranger, because that's what you are, a complete stranger, your information of the people that you hold close to you associates, friends, neighbors, relatives, whatever, other skilled professionals, so they can call them and see if they need work when you didn't even do anything. You didn't do anything. I was told I couldn't do the job because I didn't have the IT experience and the upper whatever, like program developer, stuff like that. I was told I could not do the job. At the same time, they're commenting, you have a great network. If you don't understand relationship, what are you doing in sales? Especially now in this time of age. Do you know anybody else? Do you know anybody else? Do you know anybody else? You know what do you know anybody else reminds me of? Multi-level marketing. Do you know anybody else that can screw on my downline? Do you know anybody else that can sell this shit? Do you know anybody else that can make a percentage? Do you know somebody else that can step on? If people take care of people in the best way possible, referrals will come. My dad's like, I gotta advertise. Can't afford to advertise. Want to get bigger. Can't afford to advertise. And he's like, do you know where all my work comes from? He was like, the shul. No joke. The shul. Your mom. You guys, because I used to pass out flyers. And he's like, word of mouth. And then he goes, when it breaks it down, it's word of mouth. It's word of mouth, Kevin. Word of mouth will get you all the business if you do a good job. So you're telling me now in time of age, people have completely forgot about the relationship building aspect. Completely. And like I said before, if I was a recruiter, if I was in sales, I'd be going to all the networking events. I would be talking to freaking everybody. I'd be trying to connect with everybody. And it's not happening. It's not happening. And this is a time, people say it's like feast or famine, stuff like that. There is a time for people to look at this and say, what a shitty job market. There's time for people to look at this and say, what a great opportunity to make a difference in recruiting, in managing, in testing, in administration, in whatever you want to make a difference in, because it is such a hard market. People will not take this as a lesson, though. They will go, do you know anybody else? 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 It's like put on my webpage, I'll do your content. And I do have that up there. I said, I do have that up there. I will write content, but I'm not in your face about it. I made almost 100 videos that have pretty good content, I think. Yeah, pretty good content. The quality will be better. Absolutely. The sound will be better. The picture will be better. But I am showing you what I possibly could do. On the other side, recruiting's asking me about leads. And this is very key. At the end of the contract, I always say, do you know any other positions? Do you know any? Well, OSI didn't because they shook canned me. But they're like, do you know any open positions? Do you open positions? They always want to know about open positions. They have already looked past you. They've already completely looked past you. You're just a number now. You're just a number that they couldn't pay on time. You're a number that sent emails. You're a number that said you're going to have to get a lawyer to get paid. You're a liability. You're a liability. You can have a boss say you're the hardest working person he's ever seen or will see. And I do have that. I absolutely do have that. You know, people have said Kevin's loyal. Kevin will do his best. Kevin will do 100,000%, whatever. Kevin will find a way to get it done. But at the same time, there's people out there saying, do you know anybody else? Do you know anybody else? Do you know anybody else? I'm going to submit you to electrical engineering job and you got a criminology degree. I'm going to submit you to content development. You don't have a master's in English. God, people, you just give me a headache. It's not too hard to have common sense and be successful in recruiting. I have yet to find it, though. I had a couple good people. They went places. Understand, when you're recruiting, you are trying to take care of a person's livelihood. Contract, short-term contract, moving, not moving, part-time, remote, whatever. That's a person's livelihood, folks. It doesn't get more personal than that. If you can't build a relationship for that person's trust relationship, find out what they want, their hopes, desires, their needs, don't do it. Don't do it. Because I'm hanging up on recruiters all the time. No offense. And you've got to be able to speak fluently English. No joke. I respect everybody who's foreign and stuff like that, but if I can't understand you, how am I going to understand the job? And I will tell people to call back. I'm like, have your manager call me back. He's a little better on the phone. Maybe he's a little fluid. You're nervous. I completely understand. Trust me. I completely understand being nervous on the phone. I was there. I was absolutely there. Every day I stressed it. Every day I hated 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 it. And then it just became second nature. It became second nature because I practiced what I was doing. I was at Safe Flight Audit class. Thank you so. Calling. I see you got the da. And we go on the list, And the first day you're like, oh my God. And the 40th day you're like, oh, okay, this is easy. All right, I'm taking outbound. Now I'm taking inbound. All right, now I'm going telemarketing. Boom. I'm selling. Guy next to me, he was an African American gentleman. He was not happy. He was upset. And he shook the table and stuff when he couldn't sell. And he got all mad at me because I could. And, there's another person that was a guy from a factory. He wasn't happy. Just a regular white guy from a factory. And he wasn't selling. He got mad at me. He asked me what I was doing. I just said, I'm just speaking from the script. The thing was, you had to get the rebuttals. You have to want it. As in life. If you don't want it, people sense it. Do you have anybody else for me? Is saying, do you know anybody else I can call and waste their time? That's personal to you. Think about it that way. All right, I'm going to call this recruiting. Recruiting, where have you gone? That's what I'm going to call it. Because that's really what it is. Recruiting, where have you gone? All right, it's 13 minutes. Probably could have been shorter. I appreciate everybody watching my stuff and reading and sharing if you share and liking if you like. And if you just get anything out of this, man, get a laugh. There's stories everywhere in these. There's a happy, like I said, even the one I try to kill myself, there's a happy end. But this is my life. This is what I'm living. So I really appreciate your time, your energy. God bless. And do something good for humanity. And let's pray for peace. Pray for peace in the world. Amen. All right, that's all I got.